What's up? It's your girl Taisha bringing you the first episode of Taisha Talks. And y'all know your girl can talk. I'm here today with DayDay.
What's up, y'all?
Okay, DayDay, where you from?
Stayway. Low end, Chicago, Illinois.
Where exactly is Stayway located?
Stayway was, if I'm not mistaken, 39th to 35th. I am from 37th Street, 36th with 36th Street, 3653 South Federal, Trey Ball, 1706.
Yeah. So Stayway ran from 39th and State Street to 35th and State, from State to Federal. So you had State, Federal, Dearborn. So that is Stayway. You can go look it up, Stayway Gardens, do your homework.
I'll be on this down, man, but it's cool.
Is that where you grew up? Was that where your whole childhood was based around?
Most people actually don't believe me when I say this, but it is. My mom, we stayed on like 68th and Yale in like the Perry building, but our house got caught on fire. Once our house got caught on fire, they moved my mom to CHA, to public housing. They quickly emergency placed her in Stayway.
Okay.
So that's how I got inside of Stayway. I think I was about 3 or 4 when this happened.
Okay.
And from there, my mom, of course, got complacent, was just like, hey, let's stay. We didn't hang in Stayway.
Okay.
We didn't hang in Stayway, so when we started hanging outside, it was just like, who is the new kids? You know what I mean? But I was bad growing up, so it was just like I think I went to like 3 to 4 different grammar schools. I kept getting kicked out because I was bad. And then like I had to go to Christmas Addicts. Like everybody kept finding out that we didn't stay in the neighborhood of the grammar schools my mom was trying to keep us in, because I had went to Parker right here on 60. Ooh, it's like 67 right by Wentworth. And then I got kicked out of Parker. From Parker, I went to Guggenheim on 71st and Morgan. And from 71st and Morgan, I got kicked out of Guggenheim when they found out we didn't stay with my grandma, who address we was using. They kicked me out, and it was just like, go to your neighborhood school. So that's when I got sent to Christmas Addicts, and everybody was just like, who is this?
So how old were you when you got to Christmas Addicts?
I was in 4th grade when I got to Christmas Addicts. So that was about, 12?
Okay. Do you have siblings, or was it just you?
That's the thing. My sister, I got an older sister. Well, I got 2 oldest brothers, and then I have 2 older sisters. I'm the baby. But I do got siblings. But however, Simone was an honor roll student, straight A's and B's. Me and Simone is the only ones that back to back.
Okay.
So Parker allowed her to stay, because she wasn't a bad student. She wasn't bad. She was on the road. They let her stay. So I was the one that got kicked out. My older sister, Samantha, like she was already up in age and up in the grade, so like she didn't go to school with us at all. So yeah.
I met DayDay from Christmas Addicts from Stayway. We ran those stomping grounds together. We went to grammar school together. And I'm a little older than she is, but that's where I met DayDay from. Did you feel safe in your community? Growing up in Stayway Gardens, so you get the midst of the projects. For the people that did not grow up in the projects or around the projects, they get all this negativity, but we had the positives too. So we're going to speak on and highlight some of those. Did you feel safe in your community?
Absolutely.
As a child, did you feel safe?
I felt safer in Stayway as a child than I do in Chicago, Illinois as an adult.
Okay. What about when you started to get a little older, like high school? Did you feel safe as a teenager in the community as well as a kid?
Absolutely. Stayway was home for us. Stayway was a community. Stayway was a family. You know what I mean? We loved each other. That was back when the drug dealers had respect for us, for the old people, for everybody. Like when the drug dealers, like they wanted to make their money, but when they seen like adults and the kids walking in the building, like, hey, put that up.
Yeah.
Or they'll go take it to the back hallway.
Exactly.
The police used to come and chase us in the building. They'll always be like, hey, get out the way. Don't be standing down here. Like, they always tried to keep us away from it. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. Like, and then, like, man, the drug dealers back then, when I was growing up, they gave us money. Like, they made sure we was good. Like, it wasn't no, sexual stuff with them either. Like, they respected us. You know what I mean?
So is it safe to say if you had to raise your children today in Chicago and Stateway Gardens was still standing because they was tore down, would you raise your kids in the project?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I believe that was my journey and my story, but I don't believe it had to go generation to generation.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think the projects is like, it's like a generation to generation thing. Like, you knew 9 times out of 10, like, once you got 18, 19, then you stay under your mama type crap. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely not. But you know what? I don't know if I would have had that choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when you're in a place, you get complacent. You know what I mean? So it was just like, and Stateway, we were complacent. We were taught that this was, we wasn't taught anything else. We was taught that this is where we is, this is where we're gonna grow up at, this is where our kids gonna grow up at. So I believe like them tearing the buildings down gave everybody else a new outlook and a new aspect or new expectations out of life, because I always say I probably had like 3 kids and stay with me still up, yo. I swear to God.
Because that was that village. We had that village, like the village that people speak on. It take a village to raise a child, and I absolutely concur. Like every the older women and men in the buildings, it's like everybody had a role to play.
Absolutely.
You had somebody, everybody knew my mother was under the building selling food, this mother is selling this, and this mother's got this going on, this is Mother Teresa where she's going to babysit all the kids and make sure you're safe. It literally was a village, even with the schools, it was a village. But okay, you did speak about all the grammar schools that you attended because of your character. What about high school? What high school did you attend?
I went to Wendell Phillips, 39th and Persian.
What was high school like in your high school years? Was it like metal detectors? Did you have to get through the metal detectors?
We had metal detectors.
You had metal detectors?
Absolutely.
Phillips? And was it school shooters? Like, because today
No.
we have so many school shooters, and when we enter these schools, they're clear.
And you would have thought that we would have had that because we were in the middle of the projects. We had Stateway, we had the Ickies, we had what was this name?
Wentworth, the Dearborn,
we had
Robert Taylor.
So in our community, projects just went against each other. You know what I mean? Like the Ickies against Stateway. Actually, the Ickies and Stateway was cool. It was always
Stateway
the
against Ivy Well.
Yeah. So you would think that like in those aspects we would not be safe because like these are drug dealers. Like these are people that sat on the building. They just went to school here and there when they wanted to. So, but no, high school for me, I was safe. I mean, high school for me again, like I was around my community too. You know what I mean? Like we were still around our community, and plus, like I was dope in high school. Like I was always fresh, fly, like, and I could fight. So it was just like nobody ain't messing with me.
You had to be able to handle your own. So have you ever joined a gang? Was it a gang in your community? Were there gangs there?
Yeah, like what you mean, like GDBDs and all that? Yeah.
Did you ever say, okay, this is what I want to do. I'm going to join this gang. I'm going to be a gang member. We ain't talking about me here. We talking about you. So, you know.
I'll say this, man. I'll say this. Growing up, my entire family was Gangsta Disciples. Entire family. Like, there's like no way around it. And this was like before the project, before Stateway, before anything. My entire family is Gangsta Disciple. So I would hear my dad be like, on the G. You know what I mean? So it was just like, it was easy to always say like, on the G or on GD
so
on boss or whatever like that.
Let me ask you this question, because me myself, I am faced with this because my family are gangsters as well. So, how old were you when you realized that gangsters wasn't the only gang?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked me that because I don't
was,
identify as that anymore.
Yeah, it's like For me, I really didn't know that it was nothing besides Gangsta Disciples. Like, that's all I knew coming up. So when I was introduced to other gangs, I was like, what is that? What is that? I don't even know what that is. And when I got to high school and all the young ladies and men from all over the city started telling me about things that was happening in their community, I was like completely dumb to what was going on the blocks. We only had our little village. Like, that's all that we had.
I'm glad you asked me that because I totally don't say I'm no G. Gosh. I remember when I was about 13, 14, maybe 15. My brother is a vice lord. My brother Russell is a vice lord. And my dad, of course, I told you my dad and my uncle still GD. My brother cocks his hat to the left faithfully. And he rep vice lord faithfully. Okay. And I remember him and my dad getting into it about being a vice lord. Then I got introduced to the west side at about 19. Okay. And I started hanging on the west side heavy. And it was like vice lords. So. Okay. Yeah.
So, tell me what you think was the biggest reason that people dropped out of high school when you was going to high school. What year? What was your high school years? Let's say
2006 to 2010.
2006 to 2010 were her high school years. So during that time, I went to high school from 1996 to 2000. Back in the time that you were in high school, though, I want you to tell me what you feel like was the biggest obstacle stopping people from obtaining their high school diploma.
Hold on, let me say this too, because I said 2006, 2010. I graduated from 8th grade in 2006. Okay. And then I graduated from high school in 2010. Mm-hmm. But you know that you carry on from that June to September, it's still 2006. Mm-hmm. So that's why I say that. I don't want y'all thinking I feel no grades, nothing like that. But for me, I really don't know. I would probably say support system. They didn't have a support system.
What you mean by support system?
And I'm gonna say this because, I would say support system, and then I would say they had no. I don't know. I'm gonna stay with support system for right now. Why I say that is because I had Naya. I had a daughter in my sophomore year. Okay. And I was at a point where I was gonna give up, but my girlfriend at the time and Jackie. Okay. My girlfriend at the time and Jackie was my best friend, like love her to death. Like at the time, definitely identify as Jabari now, but they came to the hospital with me when I had Naya. Of course, she was premature, 1 pound 9 ounces, so we had to go to the hospital. I had to go to the hospital every day. I remember when she had a baby, by the way. Yeah, I had to go to the hospital. They would come to the hospital with me. Work was due, and I'd be like, I can't. I'd be in the hallway like crying, like I can't finish this work. So would you say it was more support or teenage pregnancy? No. I would honestly say I feel like they dropped out because they didn't have no support. Okay. When I say Jabari used to catch the bus from her own house to come get me and Naya from the house to make sure I got up on time and made it to first period. We would take Naya to daycare and then we would ride to school together. Okay. And they did this for a consecutive 2 years. When it was time for us to get out of school, me, her, and Tati, we would ride to the daycare. Then we were all split up because that's when we stayed around the corner from each other. We were all split up when it was time for me to go home. Tati would take me home, and then we would do it all over again. When it came for me needing work due, like they'll sit there and make sure I finish that work. So you had that support system. I promise you, and I can't leave Peaches out either. Like Peaches was super dope too, but I definitely flowers to them, and I always say like I can't wait to get to a point in my life where I can reach back and just buy them houses and cars or whatever the situation might be that they need, because they helped me pass high school. I would not have passed high school without them. Okay.
So for me, I just want to piggyback off that question because we have such a big span. I went to high school from 1996 to 2000. And in my years, I think that we were.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Dunbar High School.
Oh, I didn't know
I went to Dunbar, yes.
Okay.
And I believe that in my era, we was trying to prove that we did not have to be drug dealers. You know, even
Really?
in the community, I grew up in the projects and stay away with you, but I had friends that grew up all over the city, going to Dunbar. And I heard so many different stories, but I think at that time, like the drug dealers, they were at a point where we're tired and we don't want the violence to get out of control like it is today. So they was trying to point us in the right direction. Basically, like, I'm not going to say teenage pregnancy because you had the older men sleeping with the younger women then, but they was actually motivating us and paying us for getting good grades in the buildings and telling us, like, we want to see y'all go to college, don't have babies, go to school, get scholarships, we're going to help and see you through these type of things. So I really do think my age and everybody that came up in my era, the majority of us went away to college. Like, and I think that the majority of us went away to college because
You went to college?
I briefly went to college. I didn't go to college directly after high school. I had my daughter, and I dropped out. I didn't even, and I had my daughter, and then I dropped out. So I didn't go to college until 7 years after high school, which I feel like was the worst thing that a person can ever do. Yes. I sat in that classroom and I felt like I was in kindergarten all over again.
But I would honestly say, like, at that point you was more wiser with life, so you had more patience to be there,
wiser
etc. Right?
with logical things.
Yeah. Okay.
Logical things meaning this is where I felt school would help me to my next chapter. Where I felt I had to leave something for my children behind, and school was at the top of that list.
Okay.
But I was disconnected from the arithmetic of learning. So
Nice.
I had to reconnect myself with the arithmetic of learning because I've always been that type of person that likes to learn new things. But sitting inside of college math and you haven't been to school in 7 years, that was like traumatic to me. I was almost distraught, but I was determined to make it happen.
Nicely put.
So it happened, and we hit that. But this about DayDay. Growing up as a child, what is something that you dislike the most about yourself, but you later learn to embrace as an adult?
About myself?
Yes, about yourself.
Man.
You know how some people be like, oh, I hated that. I don't know.
That's hard. I don't think I hated nothing about myself as a child that I can honestly point back to and say, I hated that. You know what I mean? But I think as an adult, I look back at my childhood and wish that I could have changed certain things about me. I was bald-headed. You remember I was bald-headed? My mama used to put like little ponytails in my hair. My hair was like right here. So like that's why I love my hair now. Like I love my hair now. Like I love long hair now. Like, but if it's, I don't know. I wish that I could reach back and just hug myself and love myself more.
The younger version of you.
Like just love myself more. And I say that to say like, you just don't realize, like, you think the life at the time that you're living is normal. So you see nothing wrong with it. I see nothing wrong with my life, you know? But when I look back now, I just be like, dang, like, if, don't get me wrong, I don't regret my daughter at all. I love her to death. But I'm like, dang, if I loved myself more, like, I wouldn't have been in a situation with no little nappy head little boy. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Or it's just like... And I was never like a follow the leader type of person either. Like I always stood my own ground and on my own 2 feet. But it was just like, I don't know, like I think it was just probably my hair that my mom probably had more money to buy us stuff. That's it probably. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so what were some of the generational curses that took place in your household? Like not outside in the community, like literally right there in your house. some of the generational curses that you hated as a child,
And then I knew I was gonna break.
that you felt like this is what I want to break. Like this is not something that I want to take over when I start having my own children and into my own home. I want to break this curse.
I'll say the first one is love. I'll say the second one is money. And I'll say the third one is if I can just not really telling my daughter no, which will coincide with money, but it really wouldn't. Growing up, I know that my mom and dad loved me, but they loved me in an aspect that they knew how.
Okay.
And that's the thing. Like our parents love us, but they're learning. You know what I mean?
No manual when it comes to parenting.
So, I hold nothing against my mom. I hold discipline. That's number 3. I hold nothing against my parents. When I say love, I just mean I pick my daughter up from school. I give her a kiss. I give her a hug. I hug Naya. I kiss Naya. I can't remember hugs and kisses from my mom and dad. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't care if I'm irritating you. I want to sit on the edge of your bed. I want to know how was your day. I'm going to ask you. And then kids be like, good. Like, they don't say nothing. They just be like, good. But, I just still leave that platform and leave that door open to know, like, I'm here. You know what I mean? You want to talk about it? And then she'll be like, good. But then some days she'll come home, Mommy, guess what happened in the gym? So it's just like, I don't know. Like, I feel comfortable in that sense because she's talking to me. You know what I mean?
So in your house as a kid coming up, you didn't... the first thing you said was love.
Yeah.
And you feel like they just didn't show the love as
I would have wanted them
physically. Yeah,
as I would have wanted them to.
Hugs and kisses and such like that. Mm-hmm. So then the next one was money. What would be like a generational curse that you feel like money had?
My daughter got to have a car at 16, financial stability, first apartment, paying it off for a year, like just anything. Whatever she need, I'm not gonna tell her no. Like, hey, Mom, I want these shoes. Okay. Growing up, like, granted, don't get me wrong, that's what kind of put the fire inside my bone to get out here and hustle and do what I need to do for me. By
so
hearing
you think saying yes to everything is not starting a new generational curse?
You know what? It could be a blessing, it could be a curse. Mm-hmm. However, it's just like if you got a child and I feel like your child is disruptive or have a behavior problem or getting bad grades in school, there's no way that child should get shit. Mm-hmm. But if I got a child that's A's and B's on the road, trying her best, getting up every day, doing everything she's supposed to be doing, maybe not listening sometimes, because they teenagers. What would they listen to 100% all the time? You know what I mean? But it's just like when you got that child that you barely ask for anything, hey, just bring me good grades home.
Yeah.
And she do that? Hey, there's no way I can't. Why wouldn't I?
So now you just described 2 different type of children. You got the ones that's causing or with behavior issues where you feel like, okay, well, I'm going to take away these certain things.
Absolutely.
And then you have those children where you feel like, okay, there's never a reason why I'm going to say no to you. If you get good grades or if you do this or X, Y, Z, you mark off all the bullet points on my list.
That I feel are my expectations.
I won't say no to you. So do you think that would create a different child? Do you think that would create a different adult?
I don't think it have thus far. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a walkover parent. But I am an open parent, if that makes sense.
It does.
Anaya, I don't give her everything, but I give her what she needs.
Okay.
I give her what she needs. And in most cases, when I give her what she wants, it's probably like 75% at a time. But imagine I would probably say 5% at a time we got what we wanted as a kid.
Okay.
Like, literally. It was times like, you remember when like Rainbow had them Rockaway outfits, them Rockaway little jog, and I'm never gonna forget my mom for this, man. You remember them Rockaway jog? Them they was like suede little jogging suits.
I do.
Everybody had them on. It was like everybody had them on at a time, and most people was wearing them for Easter. You remember?
Okay.
When we you know the Stayway growing up on Easter you had on ones or
you had to get fresh.
Ones in Rockaway for Easter every year. What you seen in Stayway? Man, we had on church dresses and sandals, and
y'all had on traditional Easter clothes.
Yeah, and I hated it. And it was like I didn't realize how much I hated it until I started hanging with my best friend at the time, Tish. You remember little Tish?
Yeah.
And her mom had gave her the little. She had 2 of the little Rockaway outfits, and I walked my mom from 37th to 35th to Rainbow, just like, Mom, come on 35th with me. Or da 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 da. Man, we got a Rainbow, and my mom was like, "We'll come back." We never went back, and I wanted that Rockaway jogging suit because we was supposed to wear it together on Easter. I was gonna be twins with my best friend at the time, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I got it already." And when Easter came in, I had on a blue jean skirt and some sandals with some ponytails. I was so
that was traditional Easter gear.
Oh man!
And so you said love. You spoke on love,
money, and discipline.
Money and discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Discipline. How was you disciplined in the house?
Like an army. I was disciplined. Like my daddy was.
He was militant.
We couldn't wear lip gloss. We barely could wear dresses.
Was that like a religious thing or?
No, my dad just didn't play. He always said like he let my brother do whatever. Hypocrites. I don't care. He's a hypocrite. He let my brother do whatever. My brother had chicks coming in, coming out, coming in, coming out. And when it got to us, he was just like, no company.
He was just protective with those girls. So
no
do you
company.
think that's why the reason for your sexuality now is because your dad would let the boys get away with whatever?
No, because I had a little sprout where I thought I wanted to be with a little boy, which is how Anaya came. However, I will say this. Who I am has always been who I am. Mm-hmm. If you can piggyback back when I was on a boxing team and everything, I was always like this.
I mean, I remember because I think me and you shared a little different bond.
Yeah, because we used to be sitting in the field on the paddle with you.
We shared a little different relationship. Yeah,
I was always like this. I think the thing was my family wouldn't let me be who I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. And that was because of a religious thing. I remember, you remember Boxing Tish. I know you remember Boxing Tish.
I remember Tish. I used to box with Tish.
I remember she was kind of like my role model. Like I looked up to Tish.
Okay.
And like she had little girls coming in and out the gym. Like she had like a little truck.
The girls and the guys.
Man, and she had a little truck. Like I remember one time, like she never tried to do nothing with me or nothing like that. But I think she picked up on who I was gonna be too. Like she was like, "You want to ride with me?" We rode around before at a time. And I remember this one day I came out the gym and my pants was like a little bit off my booty. That was a little sagging. And my sister had a freaking heart attack.
Come on.
She was like, "What the fuck you doing? You ain't got..." And I was like, damn. Like this. I'm like, damn. I like this or that. So I feel like, I tell everybody right now today, I feel like my sexuality was like paused because like I was trying to
figure
meet
out
the
who
standards
you were.
of my family. Okay. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
I think so many people.
Even my child father, like I remember when I used to come out the gym or whatever like that, and sometimes I would have on tank tops. He'd be like, "Ugh, man, go change your shirt." So I feel like he kind of knew. Like I swear to God, he would not let me wear tank tops. He like, "Don't come around," because my arms have always been like, yeah, you feel me? So he's like, "Ugh, like what are you doing?" or whatever like that. Like, and it's just like I tried to die down and be a little more girly. But then it was just like, I was like, this is not like who I am.
It's not making me
happy.
And
like, I remember talking to my friend. Granted, don't get me wrong. Like, some days I be feeling like, but do I really want to be like an old stud? You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, and we'll get to that maybe later. But I don't know. I tell my best friend all the time, like, this is who I'm confident in. When I walk in a room, I can walk in a room with my head high at this. Walking into this level of my life. I remember feeling like when I would dress like a girl, I remember when I used to walk in the room like this, head down. I felt it, and I was always like fly. Like my Simone like made sure I had any Jordan I wanted, like anything I wanted. My sister, my older sister, made sure I had it. Like when I was in high school, my freshman year, whatever like that. But I remember walking into a room like this. I remember I always had my hair done. I would always go to the Africans. I would always go to the shop and get my hair done and get my nails done. But I never, when I walked in the room, my hair was always down. Or I didn't feel the confidence. Or I would always feel like who's looking at me or what they thinking about me or whatever the situation might be. I didn't have it. But when I was probably 18. I was out of high school. I was grown by then. Can't nobody make no choices for me. That's when I decided to walk into this light of mine. And I always call myself a no label. I don't identify as a stud, really. Mm-hmm. But, like, this is when I walked into me, like, here. And it was just like, you can't tell me shit. Like, it was like...
I'm on top.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm in my highest glow right now.
I was with my best friend, Dre. You remember my best friend from the wedding?
Yeah.
I was with my best friend, Dre, at the time. I remember, man, I got my first landing. Do you know I called out work? I looked it good. We went downtown. We went shopping. We went to our money exchange. Like, I looked it good. I called off. And I was like, this was me. And like, oh my God. And I can't even mention the text that came my way. It was like, I was like, this is me.
And it just was a
like,
confidence boost, like, a boost of self-esteem.
I promise you, I felt like it was me. I felt like in that moment like that. And I still feel like what? When I'm on vacation, when I'm just in my glow, just being unapologetically me, you can't tell me anything.
That's right.
You can't tell me anything. That's like now, I think the only thing that's stopping me now, of course, is my weight. But you see, I be working out and stuff with Briante now. Yes. So I be working out now.
What is Briante's, what's her,
I am fitness HO and I am fashion HO.
I am super dope trainer. Mm-hmm. So Briante is a young lady that we grew up with again in Stateway, and she has a weight loss journey. And she lost like close to maybe 100
like 200 pounds, like 100, like 150, because she was like 3 something.
A little bit over 100
so
pounds.
So she like, yeah.
Okay, she has lost over 100 pounds, and she looks good.
She does.
Good with a T.
Yeah, she does.
Okay, y'all can follow her at I Am Fashion Ho on Instagram. DayDay, actually, tell them what you do now, DayDay.
I am a photographer in Chicago, Illinois.
The best.
Don't play with that girl. Yeah.
So DayDay is a photographer, and y'all know Taisha. She just talks. This is what Taisha do right now.
Taisha right now. Taisha is an entrepreneur.
Right now, Taisha is always.
Taisha just talking right now.
Right now, Taisha is talking.
As a mogul, you as an entrepreneur, like you're super dope. She do
Thank
taxes.
You.
Like stop playing. She do taxes. Like, it's crazy because, like, you remember when I was sitting outside the shop on 39th? And I was sitting outside your studio waiting on Lena to come out the Beauty Supply that was right next to your shop. You don't remember that?
No.
It was crazy because I didn't even know you had a boutique,
wait, you
man.
had the Benz. Yes, I do.
Yeah, that was when I had my Lexus.
Yeah. I remember when you put the all black. I was like, wait, yes, I do. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. I didn't know you had a boutique, but you dominated. It's just like you. I mean, you was low key with that boutique. Like you were low key with your boutique, then you were low key with opening up over here on 47. Like you were like by then you was like out there, but you was definitely low key with your boutique
because everybody is so used to Taisha talking.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So really, I just talk. I gotta be about it. And one thing about me, I'm gonna stand on that business. You know what I'm saying? So it be like when I got goals, when I sit and I talk to people, I think these people be my friend and they literally be sucking up everything that I'm giving them for themselves. Mm-hmm. But one thing that I have learned is you can't pray for my blessings. What God blessed me with, they are only for me.
Absolutely.
You can try. I mean, a lot of people when you see people doing something that's their passion, that's coming from the heart, and everything I do is coming from my heart. It's coming from my soul. It's coming from the inside. Like, I ain't doing things because I see somebody else doing them. I'm doing them because this is where God have led me. This is my path. So when you see somebody else doing it, and then you say, oh, she's doing good at that. Yeah. So I'm going to try it, or I'm going to hang around her so that I can learn what she's doing, and then I'm going to step it up. It don't work. Literally, what God has for you is for you. So let me give you this story. Really, what God has for you is for you. I tell DayDay all the time, like, no, G, I stay in my lane. Like, so I got a camera, and I bought this camera. And I bought this camera because DayDay was on the rise in her hustle, right? Her business was taking off. And I'm like, man, I'm so spoiled. Like, she got me so spoiled where I feel like she's supposed to just be there when I need her. But at the same time, I want her to grow. So that's impossible. So I was like, okay, DayDay, well, I'm going to go buy me a camera so I could just record it myself, and then you can edit it for me. You know, she a sweetheart. So she like, okay, yeah, go ahead, do that. And I got you. I don't think I done recorded not one thing since I had the camera, y'all. Like, that's not for me. I don't know photography. So here I am, all the way in Georgia, calling her like, I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to take pictures. I don't know. So here I am, bringing the camera all the way back to Chicago just so that they can fix it. Like, literally, I stay in my lane. If it's not in my calling, in my heart, in my soul for me to do, I don't do it. And that's one of the generational curses, like, that happened in my community that I see so often. You know, I see it so often. People playing follow the leader, or people being in competition, like, oh my God, isn't that your best friend? Like, how did it just turn out where you guys are on social media going back and forth about the same subject when you guys can team up and make it 10 times the profit? So, back to this, because again, Taisha talks. So we're going to get back to the definition at hand. These generational curses, like, just getting out of hand. And I feel like they really need to be broke. So that's the point of Taisha Talks. That's about it. We could just about wrap it up unless you got questions for me, DayDay.
Probably a few. But I do want to add, though, too, like, you were doing a boutique thing before it was even popular. You know what I mean? And it was like, I always question, like, how the hell did you, like, when you was doing boutiques, I promise you it was like 2012, 2011, 12, 13. I remember because it was 2013 when I had my, like, around 2013, 14 when I had my Lexus. So I was just like, what made, like, how did you just, and like, it wasn't social media, wasn't popular then. Like, your following is, your family following is huge, but the following, you didn't have a huge following at the time. You know what I mean? This is you, like, now our crutches is social media. You know what I mean? You didn't have that crutch. Like, what made you just do that like that?
Just jump dead over. Okay, so, like I said, I always felt like education was the leader. Like, because that's what we was taught in our community. If you don't go to high school, you don't go to college, you ain't gonna be nobody. So I say this, in the community that we grew up in, there was smoking, it was drinking. I never indulged because I watched my family members indulge. Yeah, so that was something as a little girl that I said, I never want to do this. I never want to, like, who's going to sit there and watch their parents, aunts, uncles smoke crack and say, hey, I want to smoke crack one day. No.
Absolutely.
So for me, how did you get to the point of smoking crack? You started off with, I was one of those inquisitive young ladies where I asked those type of questions to adults that I felt comfortable asking those type of questions with. And I asked, like, how did you start doing this? And majority of those people told me that they started off smoking weed. or they started off smoking cigarettes. So for me as a little kid, I was like, okay, well, we're going to scratch this off the list because I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to smoke cigarettes. I don't want to smoke marijuana. I don't want to drink alcohol. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to get my education, and I'm going to be like these people that I see on TV. To me, TV was my outlet. So getting into the boutique thing, I think I always liked fashion. Again, I was one of those little girls that liked TV, and I liked Fran. What's her name with the squeaky voice? What was
the nanny?
The nanny. So she was so dope, and to me as a kid. And Hillary off the Fresh Prince. Hillary was so dope to me as a kid. Clueless. Oh my God, those and my cousin Nicole, she used to draw. I don't know if nobody, but Nicole, you inspired me. She used to draw when we was kids. She used to draw these stick people. So they were stick people, and those stick people used to be fly to death. DayDay. Like Nicole used to comb Jamise and Chanel mom. She used to comb the stick people hair. She used to put jewelry on them, clothes on them, and that was just my flatness that I watched Fresh Prince, and I loved Hillary. I watched The Nanny, and I loved Fran, and that started my fashion. So becoming an adult, like you said, money held me back, and I wasn't financially stable to dress how I would like to dress. Hell, still today I'm not dressing how I would like to dress, but it's me. This is who I am, and I'm gonna make any budget work. So I got into a car accident. I was working for Jet Livery Cab Service, hustling, doing whatever I needed to do to take care of my babies. And I got into a car accident dropping my kids off at Phillips to go to school. The young lady hit me and ran me into Phillips High School. I don't know, but in my mind, I felt like I was getting this big lump sum of money back from this car accident that was going to make me rich. I don't know, but I started to plan. Like shortly after, I knew that I wouldn't get the money right away, but I started to plan for a future. And I'm like, okay, how can I take something that I never had to get to somewhere I've never been? Absolutely. So I said, okay, you're going to have this settlement, but see, what I didn't know was all the fees adding up. And when they gave me an estimate, okay, well, we think that you're going to get this X amount of dollars. In my head, I thought I was going to be rich that day. So I started to make this business plan, and I made a business plan to open a laundromat. So when it got close to the time to get the money, actually when the money came and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, I said, this is not enough money to open a laundromat. So I went back to the drawing board, and I said, I'm not going to take this money and go jag it off on designer clothes and hair and all of this that other people in my friend group was doing. Again, I'm going to take this money that I never had and do something that I've never done. I started to ask my friends, what y'all think I'll be good at? And my best friend Tutu, she told me, she said, well, you help me get dressed every time I'm getting ready to go outside. I can't get dressed without you. And she was like, well, you know what? Don't none of us get dressed without you. We have our stuff laid out, but we run it by you before we get dressed. And I was like,
I think Libras have a sense of fashion.
Libras are very fashionable.
My best friend is fashionable, and then Simone is like spot on fashionable.
Yeah,
oh,
I think so. And my best friend had told me that was also a Libra. So I did that, and I found the space. And at first I was like, I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to do it.
I was just
I can't even do this. I was like, I can't do it. Yeah. But me, like, you're not going to defeat me, not a question, a math problem. I don't care if it's on my test and I can't get it right. I'm going to go home with the same problem until I solve it. Yeah. So I started to go around where you met me at on 37th in Indiana. That was actually a friend at the time. Her name was Tisa. That was her boutique. And she had her boutique, and she was younger than I was. And I was just going there to shop. And I ended up staying there for maybe like 5 or 6 hours. And I was talking to her, telling her that I was interested in opening my own boutique. She gave me a few pointers, and I went from there.
Okay.
I took off. And that was something that I loved. not just something that I like, but it was something that I love, and I felt like I had the natural eye for it. So I started to do it. And like you said, social media wasn't so popular. Then Instagram came. I built up my Instagram. I watched other boutiques. I got them there, and I made like a daily planner. I made a daily planner. This is what I'm gonna do every day. I got on there and I started following boutiques in Miami, following boutiques in LA, following boutiques in Atlanta, and I was like just watching their arithmetic and how they was going about branding their business. Like these was things that we wasn't taught in our community. We wasn't taught marketing. We wasn't taught about credit. We wasn't taught about being an entrepreneur.
Which I feel like that should be like the next class you do or something, like with teaching, like because I do think that what you did and what you started, I don't think you use the platform on it enough. You know what I mean? Like, because you never know, like, you did that. So it's just like, it's more people like, not like, okay, let me get this certain amount of money. Like, you know about credit. You know about diving into EINs. You know about all this and that. So it's just like, I definitely think you should do a class on teaching. Okay.
I am actually creating I am actually creating a class right now where I'll be jumping in there teaching young ladies, not just in Chicago or Georgia, but all over the world, touring, teaching young ladies how to start their own business, boutique in general, whether you're selling hair bows or designer clothes. This class. So the tax class is actually separate. The tax class is separate. I've been doing taxes longer than I've been doing clothes.
Really?
Yes. I've been doing taxes for 14 years.
Wow.
This is my 9th year doing clothes.
Okay.
No. Wait. How long?
2000
2000 and...
I sent you on 37 in 2014, 15.
Okay, I think I've been doing clothes since 2013.
Okay.
And I've been doing taxes since 2009. Okay. So both of those are coming, along with my record label, my artists, my management company. I have a lot of stuff going on. I have a card game that I'll be dropping in about 6 weeks, maybe by the time this air. Okay. So I'll be dropping the card game immediately after. And this show is something that I plan to carry on with me for the years to come. So tell me about your non-for-profit organization.
Dear Young Single Moms. Dear Young Single Moms is something that I came up with because I was a teenage mom. And I had an outlet. I kind of had an outlet to where, like, I was blessed to be in programs. But the program that I was in is all the way on the north side. And it's ran by... not African American people. I'll say that. Which is nothing is wrong with that. However, I do feel like our community need more African Americans. And one thing about us is we trust each other. And I just wanted to be, I know how it feels to be a depressed teenage mom. I know how it feels to be a broke teenage mom. I know how it feels to be a homeless teenage mom. I know how it feels to be a teenage mom who don't know what tomorrow look like, but you're going to keep going. I know how I feel to be a teenage mom who wondering where her next meal coming from. So all of these things that I feel and that I know, and I feel like I made it out. So coming up with Dear Young Single Moms is to let single moms look at my life and feel encouraged to know that, oh, this is where we are, but this is where we going. And you can't go from that place. You know what I mean? I know how all that feel. So I teamed up with, I am the founder of Team Dear Young Single Moms, and then I have a assistant named Jamela. Jamela is a single mom as well. She's a single mom of 6 boys. She does have a fiance now, so she's not totally a single mom. However, she was a single mom for most of her boys' life. And she knows how it feels to be in and out of shelters, etc. So it's just like us, we used to pray for each other. We went to high school together. I remember times where we couldn't buy the kids Christmas gifts. We would sit on the phone and cry and be like, it ain't over. You know what I mean? Like, this is because this is where we are. That don't really mean nothing, you know? So it's just like, in that sense, when I wouldn't say made it, because I still feel like I got a long way to go, even though I feel like I'm at a point of comfort in my life. I'm not complacent. So when I feel like I got to this comfortable place, it's just like, let me reach back too. So I reached back, I grabbed her, I said, hey, let's take this thing by force when it comes to. And then Young Single Moms, like, we got a podcast. We do giveaways. Supposed to be doing a yoga class before the summer out to just allow the moms to just come in, talk, like, what you been through, like, how was your week, kids getting on your nerve, baby daddy get on your nerve. It's a safe place. Yeah, there we go.
To come and speak freely.
Yeah.
You guys also offer assistance when possible.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I actually just started a non-profit organization.
Okay.
I just started it. It's the Damaris Campbell Foundation.
Okay.
That's my kid's father that committed suicide.
Yep. I remember you telling me that.
Part of this show, you know why I was like, I've been sitting on this idea, and I know you know because you was the first person that I told, and that was maybe like a year and a half ago. So now today, I'm finally going head on and pushing it and getting it out there. So it's kind of connected to it because
suicide and
depression. Suicide, and I would have never thought. I would have never thought, or would have never seen the hurt. Obviously, that he was experiencing to bring him to that point, and still having children to raise. You know, that's he left children here, not just my children, but other children to raise. And it's like, I say I have to give back in the name of my kid's father, because that's who he was. He was a giver. He was a protector. So we are basically creating a safe space. I actually want to open not just my non-for-profit foundation, but I actually want to open a community center back here in Chicago. So I have that on my to-do list of the next 3 to 5 years. Hopefully that I've gained enough and grew enough to open up a community center here in Chicago, in his community where he grew up. Hopefully, I'm praying we're going to speak that into existence.
Absolutely. Speak those things as though they were.
And it's basically going to be based around suicide or teenagers or children, adults, not just children, though. I want it to be available to anybody who needs a safe space to speak. Like, counseling and therapy was not the thing to do in our community. You know, what the way we was taught what happened in my house, stay in my house. You're not going to go to school and discuss what happened in my house. You're not going to go to the neighbor and discuss what happened in my house. You're going to keep it right here in this house. But see, what wasn't being taught in that house, what wasn't in the house, was a safe place to speak on what you was going through in that same house. You know what I'm saying? So for that, a lot of people grew up with anger issues, not being able to communicate well, not being able to express their feelings, being judged for feeling weak. Yeah. You know, because even the strong get weak. So, yes, that's the mission statement around Taisha Talks and the Damaris Campbell Foundation. We are really trying to reach as many people as we can. So if you are a single mom in Chicago and you need a safe space to speak, you should follow DayDay.
I definitely think you should. This program is about to be big. Eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard. We definitely going 5 with Dear Young Single Moms. I'm definitely just going 5, period, and a lot that I got going on. So I got a lot of things that I got going on that that's in works and in a process too. So I'm about to snap. We about to snap, man.
We about to snap.
We about to snap.
See y'all next week.